Welcome back to another episode of Expat Rebel. Today I'm going to share with you 50 money-saving travel tips. U.S. passport processing times are getting shorter. Travel and leisure is a destination of the year. Thanksgiving in Mexico and investment lot scams and more expat news. I created this podcast because I believe that being an expat is just not for everyone, and that a lot of the expat advice out there is unrealistic. So I'm delivering news, motivation, and advice that will make you an excellent expat and enjoy a better life. And because I know you're busy, it won't take up too much of your time. Or you want to become an expat soon, then go grab our Expat Rebel guide to becoming an expat in 30 days over at expatrebel.com/30. And if you would love what we're doing, you can support us over at expatrebel.com/join. We're a community and would love for you to join us. All the articles I mentioned are in the show notes, and let's start today's episode. I had someone ask me recently about expat enclaves and how they don't like them. And I agreed with them. I'm not interested in living with a bunch of U.S. Americans or even nicer Canadians in an entire condo building or neighborhood, and I don't. U.S. Americans and Canadians living in a foreign country tend to be very international and more mellow. I have some that are friends, but I know more Mexicans because I live in an area that has little foreigners in it. And a vast majority of them are only here during the winter, the foreigners, and just completely surrounded by locals. And it's great. Really, I prefer it. We have something in common, being peaceful, enjoying the slowness. We don't need to rush. Why do you eat fast food when you can enjoy fabulous tacos slowly? There's more to enjoyment in taking your time. All right, let's move on to travel news. U.S. passport processing times are finally getting shorter. The U.S. travelers are going to be finally free from all the bureaucratic mess of months-long passport wait times. I know I've been telling everybody about get your passport now, but for the first time in 3 years, it's actually gotten shorter. According to latest estimates, it'll take a little bit less than a month. I always say, get your passport before you think you need it, aka get it now if you don't. Great article about 52 money-saving travel tips that you can save before and on the road. Lots of great tips in there. And another article about no matter what you do on a plane, you're probably annoying someone. And here are the top complaints. It happens practically every flight. It's a long list of how people annoy each other on planes. It's all living in the same house for a while. And here's to flight attendants for de-escalating over 99% of the issues. American Airlines reminds flight attendants not to provide better service to coach passengers. In fact, the airline told the cabin crew that they shouldn't give economy passengers blankets, pillows, treats from business class. American framed this as a consistency issue, which is to say making sure there are no occasional surprises and delightful moments in the coaching cabin. And United Airlines passenger checked a bottle of tequila, and someone took a shot of it before it got to baggage claim. Airlines are having to accept responsibility for similar incidents. When you check a bag with an airline, the airline is responsible for it, even though they're not the only one that touches it. The Travel and Leisure magazine names Destination of the Year Costa Rica. Congratulations, Costa Rica. They named it the 2024 Destination of the Year, recognizing the nation's unwavering commitment to a sustainable future. Yes, it's very famous for that. And for its deep connection to the land and indigenous communities. Explore the collection of articles and the link in the show notes all about Costa Rica that they've collected. It's a blue zone. It's got beautiful beaches. It's got fabulous rainforests, great surfing, fantastic art and food, and very dramatic mountain landscapes as well. Hey, congratulations, Costa Rica, for being the top destination for 2024. And I have a nice article about is it safe to go there. The U.S. has a travel advisory system. It's a little controversial, and this article explains it in more detail. The system isn't perfect. It can be helpful at times. I have looked at it myself. Just remember, if the system was applied to the U.S. itself, which it isn't, many parts would have a high-level advisories to avoid travel there. So some cities in the U.S. are actually dangerous if you applied this U.S. travel advisory system, which they don't. They only apply it to everywhere outside the U.S. Mexico is a popular destination for U.S. Thanksgiving travel. Thanksgiving isn't celebrated at all in Mexico, but it was a great nearby place to warm up and enjoy Thanksgiving without the snow. Here locally, there's a number of restaurants that are actually marketing Thanksgiving-like dinners that you can go to, mostly at very expat-friendly restaurants. Be careful of the area of Cancun when you search for Airbnb. This can be applied to everywhere, but there's some Airbnb rentals are actually located in high crime areas. Airbnb doesn't know that, or they're not doing anything about that. So you need to be aware of the neighborhood before you start booking. All right, let's move on to Expat Mexico news. Got a nice article about investment lots, the disease of the real estate industry. Here in Yucatan, Mexico, where I'm at, there are a lot of investment lots being marketed, a lot. Probably more than any other area, probably more than Quintana Roo, but any other area in Mexico. And you need to, this advice doesn't matter what country you're in, but you need to be aware of buying them. They can be a good deal, but you need to work with people that are recommended and are licensed. There is a bunch of people who are dividing land out in the middle of nowhere with no electricity, no services whatsoever, and selling it off and have no inclination to actually develop it. And so there's a lot of land here in Yucatan that they can do that with, and they are. Another article is same-sex couples in Mexico. It's a growing and diverse reality. There's some people that moved to Mexico to get away from same-sex couples and a lot of the diversity things that are happening in the U.S. And it's happening here in Mexico too. So it's just a reality that it is. Don't try to go to another foreign country to escape it all, because you're not gonna. And an article about the gentrification of our traditions. Yeah, nice article about how some foreigners are creating retreats that are selling tickets to things that are free, that just normally occur here, for instance, in Mexico and elsewhere as well. So I always recommend traditional ceremonies from natives. I've had some of my best memories in my life here in Mexico from Mayans and Aztecs performed ceremonies. If you're interested in that, make sure you get on the newsletter and hit reply, and I will tell you who they are. They do fabulous, really authentic Native American ceremonies that will blow you away. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Thanks again for being part of Expat Rebel. This would just not be possible without all of you. We're building a positive expat community, and we're here to support you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a review or a comment. We love hearing from you. And if you'd like a weekly newsletter to go along with all this, go over to expatrebel.com. Also, check out our How to Become an Expat in over 30 days over at expatrebel.com. It shares how I went from idea to moving to a foreign country in about 30 days, and also shares how you can save about $3,000 on mistakes that I made within the very first month. See you guys next time. Bye.